Hola a todos and welcome to this little video that I have for you guys. I'm grading one of the activities and I'm seeing that many of us are having some trouble identifying the parts of a subjunctive idea. So I'm going to attach this to the announcements, this particular Word document. I'm going to probably put it as a PDF to avoid any issues. So when we started chapter 12, when we started with the subjunctive, okay, they shared with you the conjugation for the regular AR, ER, and IR verbs. And then, unfortunately, there's a lot of irregulars. So they told you the irregulars with the yo forms and the irregulars of some other irregular verbs, and then they told you that to continue the strong sounds of the C's, the G's, or the Z's in the car, gar, zars, which we had this irregularity in the preterite, if you remember, that these are going to be the irregularities that you should notice. They also told you about some stem changing verbs, which we've also seen throughout the stem changers, and IR stem changers. So we have AR, ER, and IR stem changers. So I literally just screenshotted this out of your eCompanion. So if you don't know where all of the explanation is, make sure to visit your eCompanion. Let me know if you don't know how to access that. Okay, so they rambled through all that, and then they told you, okay, well, we're gonna use the present subjunctive in these ways: will and influence, emotion, doubt, denial, or disbelief, indefiniteness, or non-existence. Okay, and we're not gonna rush through all of them. We're just gonna start with one at a time. So no matter what you're trying to express of these four categories, the way that you express a subjunctive idea is always going to be the same. You have that main clause, then you're always going to be required to have a connector, and that subordinate clause is where you're going to find the subjunctive idea. So on Estructura 12.4, we start with the will and influence, right? And when we use this is to affect or influence, if you will, the actions or behaviors of others, okay? So for example, if I said, oh, I hope that they all read Omacha this week. I don't know if you guys are going to do it, but I'm hoping that you do. I'm trying to influence your actions into grabbing the book and finishing up these chapters and posting those questions online. Okay? So, the main clause, if we go back here, that main clause contains any of the will and influence expressions. Okay? So they tell you that these are some verbs of will and influence, and that there could also be these impersonal expressions. Impersonal meaning that they don't specifically target a subject. It's just said, well, it's important to read Omacha. Totally different idea to saying, I hope that my students read Omacha. And it's not the same. So you can have a verb of will and influence in your main clause or an impersonal expression. Now, the same thing is going to happen. Then you have to have the connector, and then in the subordinate clause, you have your subjunctive idea. So, in an example like these, for example, es mejor is an impersonal expression, que is my connector, and then here they're telling you that it's the subject and the verb that you need to use in the subjunctive. So we go back and we say, oh, es mejor que nosotros cenemos en casa. Okay? So we're trying to influence somebody's actions by saying, you know what? It is better than we eat at home. Okay, so I've left you some here. Feel free to try them out. Type them in an email, in a Word document, and send them in an email, and I can give you feedback. So I've given you these. Again, these are screenshotted from your eCompanion. Now, this is the particular Portales activity that we are having some big issues. This is a recording one, okay? In the clue that the computer gives you, they say stuff like, tengo frío, o Marta tiene gripe, o Francisco necesita un regalo para la boda de sus amigos, okay? So what you do with that is that, and then they give you the particular idea that you should complete that with. How that works is that then you can use, again, any of the verbs of will and influence or any of the impersonal expressions respecting this particular structure of the main clause, connector, and subordinate clause and finish the activity. So, for example, if somebody's cold and the suggestion is, well, put on a sweater, te recomiendo, I'm recommending you que te pongas un suéter, that you put on a sweater. Don't forget that this would be then a reflexive pronoun. I'm not putting your sweater, I'm telling you, hey, go get yourself a sweater and put it on, and then you won't be cold. If it's saying that Marta tiene gripe, okay, how can you influence her? Le insisto, so I insist that she remains in bed. Again, this is a reflexive verb. I'm not forcing her to be in bed. I'm suggesting, influencing that she just stays in bed herself. Now, this one, Francisco needs a gift for his friend's wedding. So what I can do is I can suggest, le aconsejo, I suggest Francisco buys them. So now this is an indirect object pronoun. I want Francisco to buy his friends a toaster. Le aconsejo que les compre una tostadora. Queremos alquilar una casa en las montañas. Someone wants to go in the mountains. You're more of a beach person. So, les pido, I request that they don't do it. Les pido que no lo hagan. Notice, this is the subjunctive structure, okay? Necesito cortinas nuevas para la sala. Someone needs new curtains in their living room. Awesome. How can you persuade them to buy them at a particular place? Well, you can say, hey, you know what? Es importante que las compres en la casa bonita. Now, I'm using an impersonal expression to say it is important that you buy them at Casa Bonita. It's a fabulous store. And this is my direct object pronoun referring to the curtains. And then last but not least, the tourists, they want to try Panamanian food. Okay, so I'm going to tell them, I kind of know a little bit of Panamanian cuisine. I'm saying, well, es mejor que, it is better that they go to Cascada. Fabulous restaurant. Es mejor que vayan a Cascada. So again, no matter what you're trying to do, you have to respect the structure of these will and influence ideas using the subjunctive. I definitely suggest that you go back. Again, it's the Estructura 12.4, Activity Situaciones. And I've tried to leave you as much feedback as I possibly can. If I didn't leave you feedback, it's because I stopped after a couple of you guys were struggling, and I decided to do this video for everyone. Please don't forget that tomorrow I have office hours from 11 to 1, but if those don't work, you're always welcome to email me the question or email me a time that works best for you, and I will do my best to make it work. Again, we have our test coming up, and I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page when it comes to the uses of the subjunctive. All right, have a great afternoon, everybody. Bye.